Now, let's jump right into the problem here. As you can see, we've connected our mouse to the computer. Here is a sample document file. We can clearly see that overall, the mouse is working fine. The cursor moves as intended. The left click and the right click are also working properly. However, when we try to scroll the page, we can observe that the scroll wheel displays a weird behavior. It is glitchy and unstable, such that when we try to scroll up, sometimes it scrolls down, and vice versa. Generally, this type of ghosting or unstable issue is strictly hardware related. So now, we are going to open the casing and inspect what's going on inside the mouse. Firstly, we have to remove these paddings. We can start by prying the edge with a fingernail and then use tweezers to fully remove the mouse feet. There are mainly 4 screws as you can see, so we will simply proceed to unscrew them. Alright, it looks interesting inside. But to address our main issue today, let's remove the top PCB that's responsible for our side switches by unscrewing these 2 screws on each of the edges. Don't forget to group the screws so we don't lose them. Let's try to focus the camera. Yep. Wow, look at the build quality here, guys. I have to say, it feels incredibly premium for a mouse that costs less than 15 bucks. Let's just finish removing the remaining screws so we can fully disassemble the casing. After removing them, let's take these, I don't know what they're called, side buttons plastic brackets? Yeah, anyways, we're putting them aside for now. Next, it's time to disconnect the cable. Just wiggle the connector gently to loosen the tension, and the cable will disconnect easily. Notice that there are 2 clips which currently block the PCB to the casing. We are going to address that later as our scroll wheel is quite blocking the way. To remove it, we simply just have to use little force and pull it away from where it stands. Please be very careful here as you might break the plastic shaft. Let me tell you real quick that our main problem actually lies on this specific part, that is the scroll wheel encoder. But let's get back to removing our PCB first. And here we have it. The PCB is finally out from the casing. What we should do is basically to just push the clips I mentioned earlier and pull the PCB up from the casing. You should also pay attention to the plastic poles which are used for alignment purposes. Let's bring it close to the camera, and here is the main culprit. It is the scroll wheel encoder. To fix it, it's actually best to desolder it and disassemble the whole part. However, since I'm quite lazy and it can be safely done without desoldering, we can sort of brute force our way by bending the metal housing that's keeping it in place. After bending it slightly, here we can observe together how the encoder looks like. There you can see a sort of metal backplate, ring, or a seal basically, that's preventing us from accessing the inner mechanism. Therefore, as always, we will use our trusted tweezers to carefully pry it open. Now that we've disassembled the housing, I'm removing the wiper, also known as the rotary contact. If you look closely inside the encoder, you can see the fixed contact traces. The interaction between these two components is what generates the quadrature signals, or pulses that correspond to the scroll wheel's rotation. Zooming in on the traces, we can identify a single continuous track serving as the common line, while the remaining 8 contacts are divided into channel A and channel B. The rotary wiper we examined earlier features 3 interconnected contact points. As it rotates, it bridges the common line to the signal channels. Because these contacts are physically offset, they generate 2 pulses 90 degrees out of phase. This quadrature signal is exactly how the controller determines the direction of your scroll. The root cause of the ghosting and instability we've observed lies directly with the wiper assembly. Over time, mechanical fatigue causes the contact arms to lose their tension, resulting in poor contact with the traces. This degradation introduces parasitic impedance and signal noise, leading to the false triggers such that the mouse's system, basically the microcontroller, can't interpret correctly. As such, we will now proceed to manually adjust the bending and restore the tension on the contact arms. Now it's done! Let's take a look at the before-after comparison. After the fix, you can notice that the arms are retensioned and sitting slightly higher. This ensures a much more consistent connection with the traces. And let's not forget the contact traces. If you look closely, you'll see some contamination on the surface, mostly a buildup of dust and degraded lubricants. So we'll give it a light cleaning with paper towel, but be careful not to strip it completely of the lubricant. Since we are reapplying fresh grease today, leaving a thin, clean layer will still help prevent future wear without affecting the signal integrity. Now it's the reassembling time. We are going to reseat the wiper into its slot, ensuring it's properly aligned. Next, we'll put the metal covering to seal the core part of the encoder. Let's not forget about the outer metal housing. I'm applying a bit of extra pressure here to make sure the housing is crimped as tightly as the original seal, and this will minimize the risk of any components shifting or becoming loose during use. Let's do some visual checks and all clear! Before continuing with the assembly, let's take the wheel and connect it to the encoder. You won't believe me. The scroll now becomes so smooth and you can practically feel the difference. Every steps are so smooth and there's no feeling like there's something stuck or bothering while you scroll. To avoid double working, let's check it by connecting the mouse to our computer. It now turns on safely, and if I move the mouse, yeah, silly me. The bottom casing, which houses the prism or the mirror, is still not attached. Obviously it won't work. Anyway, you can tell that the right click and the left click work fine. Now, it's the moment of truth. Let's put the scroll wheel back and... voila! The problem is completely resolved. You can see there's no more jitter or false triggering during use. The encoder is now tracking linearly and it scrolls exactly as intended. That's the whole point of this video. Interestingly, this mouse is equipped with the KL switches using mix of their brown, black, red and gray variants. I would say the experience using them so far was so good. It's not the silent type, but also not the loud, clicky sound type. Let's put everything back into the casing. We start by aligning the PCB. And don't forget that we have the clips on both ends. So let's just press it down and make sure there's a click. Yep, we got a click there, we got a click there. It's now the wheel's turn. It's actually quite hard to do, but basically you just have to align it with the encoder and literally just push it. Ew, it's quite dusty. Let me clean it real quick here. We will now begin the final reassembly. Let's start from the side buttons plastic or brackets. Yeah, we now proceed by mounting everything back and reinstall the screws to lock everything into place. Let's not forget about our paddings or the mouse feet. Now, everything has been completely fixed and reassembled. And that's it for my first video here. Thank you for watching everyone. If you find this video interesting or helpful in any way, please give it a like, share and subscribe. See you in my upcoming videos. Bye bye!